be it through, popular culture, film. Yeah, we do. It won't be that shocking. But one of the things, too, is, especially with Western civilization, about power and control. Well, you've got that with all civilizations, but specifically with what we've got here as far as Wall Street monetary type of control. That's one thing that they do not want for everybody to admit to that, because then they start losing control of all kinds of value, and that's going to hurt the capitalistic system. And then you got new players in it, and they don't want that. And then you could have somebody, oh gosh, we got new technology, and that's the end of the oil industry. And, everything goes smash after that. As far as the five sisters, the seven sisters, the oil companies, and all the people that are associated with Wall Street in that area.
But then on the other hand, maybe something, I hate to say it, maybe shit hit the fan, okay, where maybe they have to start disclosing stuff because, why would the president, if you think about it, think about creating a space force? Why wouldn't he use the Air Force? I mean, that's their job. Why would you create a complete new one? Do we already have one that we've been trying to cover it up? Or maybe these UFO sightings, and what's going on with, the cattle? And then somebody sent me over a picture yesterday of some people, that have been mutilated really bad with laser, like burn holes through them and all this stuff. Now, we're talking out in the jungle type people even. Makes you wonder, what all is going on. So it's just not cattle being mutilated. It's being, people.
Right. That's been, cattle mutilation, and then, of course, with the missing, the tens of thousands, and then these other stories about them coming on up with some butchered human beings. Yeah, that's you could say, well, I'll be diplomatic. When the spaghetti hits the fan, then we got to do something about that. But I'll say this, as far as these aliens with their technology, once we get out into outer space, the genie's out of the bottle here, because there is nobody that's going to be more warlike and more adaptive and
than us,
more creative than the American species, the American race. We are a tough people. We are conquerors. And, if we get on out there, it's poor aliens.
Well, yeah. I mean, all humans, we're barbarians.
No, but specifically Americans, because if you look at what the Americans have done, and if you look at, I'm proud to be an American, but if you look at who we've taken on and who we have defeated, from Imperial Japan to the Third Reich to you name it, we are the, we are the toughest you-know-what in the valley.
Well, I don't know. I've told the people numerous times on my show, one of my guests worked for the DOD for 10 years, and he actually quit his job years ago because he couldn't take it anymore, and actually he had the acting bug. And, he went up to his superiors and said, hey, can I take an acting job, along with, my government job? And they said, no, you get paid from the government. You cannot do, And he just said, okay, well, then I can't do this anymore. But he told my audience and me, even off the side, some of these really scary things that I'll tell you, even thinking about it, my hair's right now on my arms, if you can see it. And it's really hot in my studio because I don't have air conditioning. It's pumping right now about 105 degrees in here. It's standing straight up. And humans and Americans or whatever, we do bad things, and we do it, well, for national security or whatever. I don't know. I mean, technology-wise, it's far more superior out there with the governments than we know, as a layman out there, what is actually going on. So I don't know. I just got a funny feeling, there has to be. We're not the only planet out there, guys, that has life on it. And
Right.
you know what? Like I said earlier, we eat everything on our planet. In fact, we even eat each other. I mean, even, I didn't even realize that even when the Titanic went down, some of the survivors actually survived a little bit by, drinking blood and eating some of the deceased. So it makes me wonder, like if a species could be so far advanced, you could look at it and say, well, they're so far advanced, they're going to be more, what have you. But on the other hand, they might look at us as no more than we look at that steer out in the pasture, Oh, that's going to make a good steak for a barbecue. You got to remember, like Stephen Hawkins, and I always say this on my show, he begged the governments, please stop giving our address away because you might not like who comes knocking on our door.
Well, you're absolutely, Hawkins is right on that, but of course he dismisses a lot of things that I've researched and that I've written about. And I always joke that Stephen Hawkins got his theory about relativity by copying my sixth grade paper on it. But the point being about that is that with what we have, we've been advertising who we are, and we've been visited. It's been ramped on up since after World War II. But we've had alien activity, or they've been watching us or interfering with us since the days of the Romans. And now
you don't know, though.
Apparently there's different species that are, again, playing dice with us. Maybe some are benevolent, some are not on our side. But nevertheless, no matter what happens to us, we're like the coyote, but specifically the American. Yeah, the humans, we're we're bloodthirsty, etc. But as far as the creativity and what we're able to do, if we get our hands on something, we are going to be able to develop it and turn it on into technology that even these superior beings do not know about, and we'll start thinking about supply lines and how far away they are from Alpha Centauri or whatever.
As long as it doesn't say made in China on it.
Well, I tell you what, I mean, we're still a very, even if with that, we'll reverse things and we'll do it here in Joe Doakes or Jane Drano's garage here. Americans are, we study history here, there's been no other group of people that is as creative as Americans. It's just astounding what we can do. And, for example, we talk about the Roswell craft that went down, and I maintain that we've re-engineered it, and who knows what Space Force really is on out there. There's been leaks. People have jumped into different government computers, be it from England or the USA, supposedly giving information about a secret fighter fleet that's on out there. And if we look at some of the things that have been seen by satellites that have, some of it has been released to the public, you say to yourself, wow, there are some things on out there. And of course, with us being who we are, well, then we want to develop some type of technology to defend and to, if need be, annihilate it.
Oh, yeah. Well, the problem is we would probably try to annihilate, destroy it without questions asked. Now, because we're almost out of time, boy, that's what I like talking about you. I mean, I believe, not just talking on one subject. I mean, when it's a paranormal, it's like a round table. I like moving around, quite a bit if you haven't noticed. Now, you mentioned books. What books have you written and where can that be found?
Okay. Well, you can go to my website, Santa Fe Ghost and History Tours, and there's buttons there to get to order a book. There's different books. You can go onto Amazon, and gosh, now last time I did not have the books in front of me, and now I've got one in front of me. It's the Santa Fe Mayhem and Paranormal Guide, the second edition. You can get that. I also have Mysteries Mayhem, Chronicle USA, and that's really a good book. That's what's the third or fourth edition of that book, and it's stories from all 50 states. So you don't, if you just want to read about Santa Fe and the mystery here and my investigations, you can go to this book, and it's going to be like the Reader's Digest of the 1960s. In other words, you can start wherever you want, and each state is going to have different stories, be it ghost, UFO, conspiracy. Now, the bigger the population, the more stories. Delaware's just going to have one story. But it's some very fast stories, or there's some in-depth stories, like, for example, the conspiracy of the RFK assassination in 1968 at the Ambassador Hotel, what that was all about, or going to Flight 19 about, again, UFO abduction off off the coast of Florida. There's all kinds of stories there. And I mentioned to you last time. Now it's still in the works. It's done. It's being formatted, and I got a book that's coming on out, and it's going to be my way. I was able to. I'll just say that with different publishers, I've had fights, but I got all the rights now, and I have one book that's called Domingo Negro, and that means Black Sunday. And if you like the idea of cowboys versus zombies in the Wild West of 1880, with Billy the Kid being the hero, then that's your book. And it's written like a graphic novel. It has all kinds of illustrations. It's also written like a screenplay. So in other words, you're going to have very fast action with words and description. It's not going to be Tolstoy's War and Peace. And eventually what I'm going to do is going to try to get that into a production company and turn that into a film. And that's going to be coming on out. So maybe, when around Halloween, that'll be on out, and I'll give you a ring. I'll say, hey, Gary, Tombstone, do me a favor. Tell the public that...
well, no, I'll do better than that. When you get it out, I'll, let me know, and we'll get you back on the show.
Why, thank you very much. It'd be a pleasure. Thank you.
Well, hey, our time is up here. Again, give everybody your phone number where they can call you, and your website.
Okay, now my phone numbers are on my website. Let me give you my website here, because that's going to be the open sesame. That is Santa Fe Ghost and History Tours.com. Or you can just Google or Yahoo Allan Pacheco or Al Pacheco Ghost Tours, and it'll get you to my website. And from there you can be able to read about ghosts, my investigation, UFOs, my study of cattle mutilations, you name it, it's on that website. And it's a wonderful, rabbit warren. There's all these rabbit holes you can go down to, and they're going to connect to other topics that you're going to find that are just fascinating metaphysical, paranormal topics.
Oh, wow. Well, everybody, if you are traveling on a road trip or going on a vacation and you're going into, New Mexico, you need to get a hold of Allan. Go on one of his sightseeing, tours.
One of my ghost tours or one of my history tours, that's Santa Fe Ghost and History Tours.com. The telephone numbers are on the website. Go to it, and you're going to be able to get a hold of me and book a tour, or you can book me for a lecture, or you name it. And if you go on one of my ghost tours, you'll say to yourself, wow, I was, this is going to sound braggadocious, but I was on a tour for the ages.
Oh, wow. Hey, Allan, you have a great week. I got to let you go. And like always, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you very much, Gary Tombstone. I do appreciate it. And wishing everybody a wonderful rest of the week. Bye-bye.
You too. Take care. So, what can I say? I mean, if you're out there looking for something, fun to do, and you're going through New Mexico, or you live in New Mexico and you don't even know about Allan, look up his website. It'd be kind of interesting to go, some of these, ghostly places and find out. Well, the week has gone by. Last week has gone by really fast. This week is Monday, and I tell you, I got up this morning early. It's now 10 o'clock Pacific West Coast time, or near 10 o'clock The day, it just went by so fast. Well, tomorrow, oh boy, we're going to take you for another cool ride tomorrow. So make sure you tune in to, Night Dreams Talk Radio. Tell your friends about us. Tomorrow, we're going to have Fox Cities Paranormal on, talking about ghost hunting and all that, creepy, scary stuff. So,